Hi, where and you he? My name is Sasha, and in the next couple of minutes I'm going to present you one of our two research projects, which is the physical modeling synth. Um, the idea is to start something fresh in terms of delivering something for drummers, um, which is not sample based. This thing mimics all kinds of tiny little aspects that you have in terms of modeling drum shells, modeling membranes, and all that stuff. And the idea is that you don't have the typical bad qualities of sample-based libraries in terms of machine gunning effects, in terms of not enough sample layers and all that stuff, in terms of large memory requirements. And this thing mimics everything in real time. And when you hit, for instance, the snare drum, this is no sample-based snare drum. This is all real-time modeling, and we can go just to the snare drum, and I am going to show you how it manages to interact with your playing style. And when you play tiny buzz rolls, flams. Okay, I can't play a flam right now with one stick, but I think you can already hear that it starts to interact with your stick movement. And this is not possible with traditional sample-based libraries, where every hit is triggering a sample just for its own. It doesn't know anything about what you're playing, and this model is like a large instrument. When you have a snare drum and you start playing all the tiny hits, all the large hits, the small hits, they all pile up to something interactive. And this also is within the crashes and ride symbols. These are not ready yet. What is ready yet is the kettle model of kick drums and toms. But the cymbals are pretty fresh right now. They aren't ready yet, so they still sound a bit clashy and artificial. The overall scope of this arrangement is we have instances of each plugin arranged in a drum instrument-like fashion, but the actual product, if we can say a product, it isn't a product yet, it will of course contain everything under the hood, and it will also contain something like bleeding, like when you hit the low tom, then the snare starts buzzing and all that stuff. That is a future implementation which we will address later on. And talking about a product, we can imagine that we will have other kinds of synthesis elements within such a track slot, such as a analog model bass drum, analog model snare, like yes, kind of classic drum machine stuff. That might also be part of that product scope, but we aren't sure yet. We were just trying to find out whether this physical modeling stuff, which is rarely done, is really possible with today's machines, and it's already quite demanding on the CPU, and but it is still unoptimized code. We will optimize it once the algorithms are finished, and then we will see what we come up with. If it's worthwhile, we don't know yet. So the idea was to show here at SuperBooth our current state and get in touch with people and gather feedback from all kinds of people and use that for the further product development.
In the past you said something that you want to make a drum machine. Is this like the way now you make a drum machine, or is this more a standalone thing?
I think it makes perfect sense within the scope of a drum machine. As I said, you could think of exchanging all that stuff like, oh, I want a Simmons snare, I want a 909 kick drum or whatever, and use all these knobs or familiar knobs for manipulating all that sound, because that is the basic idea. You have a sound and you want to manipulate it. Otherwise, you could go for samples, obviously. Yeah.
Step sequencer is planned also, so for this.
We consider step sequencer, but we aren't sure yet. We haven't set up anything in terms of a complete product. It's just a design study where we want to check whether the algorithmic side is really worthwhile to do, or if it's just a dream. And once we finish this expertise, we will sit around the table and discuss whether or what product we could think of, and then involve the community again.
And you think this will be when this product is released, the CPU wise is better, is acceptable for new PCs, or?
You must think that you must consider that drum machine or drum instrument is the fundamental part of any production. So it makes no sense if it consumes all available power. That would be okay for a synthesizer that is perhaps only a fraction of a song with 10 seconds or whatever a synthesizer solo. But a drum machine must consume as less power as possible. So it is about optimizing it all.
But you want to use it with a drum kit, so you plan also maybe a standalone version. So without DIY.
Maybe time will
Drummer
tell.
Can go
Yeah.
on live set.
Yes, the basic idea is that we want drummers to feel familiar again with their instrument. All the stuff that sample libraries neglect by nature, we want to bring that in again. And once you have a low latency setup, you can go on stage with it. So that is, of course, one of the plans. But time will tell in what shape it will come.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.